Hey gang, this is Bill Storm from BillStorm.com. Hey, today I'm talking with people that are interested in starting a coaching business online in their 40s, 50s, or 60s. Hey guys, before we get started, I might need to get an umbrella. But anyway, hey, I want to let you know that each and every week I post new valuable content that I know will be helpful to you. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. And then also, if you get a lot of value from this video, please make sure that you like it. And then take one additional step, and that's to drop me a comment below. Let me know what your top takeaway was from it, and you can also let me know if there's a specific topic that you'd like me to cover for one of my future videos. Okay, so let's get right into it. What are the steps that you need to take in order to start a business in your 40s, 50s, or 60s? So the first step might be a little bit of a surprise or not quite what you're expecting. But here's what's happened with me in my own life. As I'm recording this right now, I'm approaching my 50th birthday. And the thing is that my thinking process now, or the things that I want, are very different than what they were in my 20s and 30s. Back in my 20s and 30s, it was all about what did I want, right? Want. What did I want? What did I want to build? How much money did I want to make? How can I take things to the next level? But now that I'm approaching 50, my thinking is changing a lot, and now my thinking is leaning more towards, okay, this is all great, but now what I really want to focus on is what are the things that I wanted back then in my 20s and 30s that I don't really want anymore? There are things that literally created a prison for me, or things that I just don't have the energy for, or things that I don't want to give attention to anymore. So the first step in your 40s, 50s, and 60s is to start taking inventory of all of the things in your life that are going on that you don't want, right? If you can literally go from thinking about what you want to starting to make a list of all the things that you don't want, you'll be surprised that all of a sudden what you really want becomes really self-evident. So first step in the whole process is to sit down with a sheet of paper, right, and literally start to write out all of the things in your life that give you anxiety or things that just cause you a lot of grief. And once you eliminate all of those things from your business plan, all of a sudden things will become very crystal clear on how to be able to structure your business moving forward. All right, let's move right into step number 2. So the second thing that you need to do in order to be able to grow a coaching business is know who's your who, right? Who do you actually want to speak with? Who's your customer avatar? Who's your ideal customer or prospect? So I'm just going to give you an example. For me, this video is titled How to Start a Business in Your 40s, 50s, and 60s. The name of my Facebook group where I do all of my coaching is called the Over 40 Badass. So you can see that the first thing that I did was I identified a specific age group that I wanted to deal with. Why? Because that's the age group I'm in. So it's easier for me to identify with those people. Could I help people that are in their 20s and their 30s? Sure I could, right? I could definitely help them and nurture them. I do it with my own children who are both grown and building their own businesses. But my customer avatar are people in their 40s, 50s, or 60s who generally are in a career that they're tired of, and they're looking for a way to generate more money. They want to have more meaning and more passion in their life. And they also want to be able to have the freedom, right? They want to be able to break free of being on that, a merry-go-round of suffering, right? They want to be able to break free of that, to be able to create their own opportunity, to be able to control their own schedule, but still allow them to be able to kind of generate the kind of income that they want. So that's step number 1, is I identified, okay, well, my customer avatar are going to be people that are very much like me. I'm just a few chapters ahead of them, and I'm going to teach them what I know to be able to help them live the same kind of lifestyle that I now live. Then it had to go further, because that's where I started. I started out with people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, but then I had to niche down even more. Well, what kind of people, what kind of businesses are people starting in their 40s, 50s, and 60s? And I decided that really what I wanted to be able to do is work with people that wanted to be able to start a coaching type of a business. Why? Because that's my business, the thing that I'm most comfortable with, right? There are people that want to start businesses where they sell products, right? People that want to sell marshmallows and toothpicks. That's not my thing. So I would have a conversation with them, and I could say, yes, I could definitely help you. I'm very familiar with this, and I could show you some ways to be able to do that and get started successfully. However, that's not my avatar. So when I'm really focused and I know exactly who I want to talk to, now I'm able to create an ad message because I can literally picture that person's face, I can put a name to them, and I know exactly the message that's going to be able to resonate with them moving forward. So that's step number 2. All right, ready for step number 3? Here we go. All right, so step number 3. Now that we know in step number 1 what we don't want, right? Literally what we don't want in our life. And now in step number 2, we know who our customer avatar is. The next step that we have to do is we have to identify what are my avatar's fears, frustrations, and desires. It is impossible to create an ad message that's going to cut through all of the noise on the internet for that person to actually hear you if you are not speaking about something that they identify with immediately. Okay, so for example, if I'm working with people that are over 40 that are used to grinding it out day after day and they're so tired of their career path and they desperately want to get out and they're not quite sure how, I need to be able to speak to them in my ad message that says, listen, have you ever been frustrated, or do you currently feel frustrated? Like literally every day that you get up, you literally dread the thought of going into your job. If that's you, I've got a solution. So that message, once I understand what the fears, frustrations, and desires are of my avatar, now I'm going to be able to reach those people with my message, and then I can bring them through to the next step in order to be able to convert them from being interested into actual paying customers. So that is step number 3. Hey, I've got a terrific worksheet that will help you go through that process too, to identify the top 10 fears, frustrations, and desires of your customer avatar. So if you'd like a copy of that, please make sure that you drop me a comment below and let me know that you'd like that worksheet. All right, let's get right into step number 4. Now, step number 4 is really, really difficult for a lot of people that are starting their own businesses, especially if you are an entrepreneur. Your mind is all over the place. You've got lots of great ideas, and while that's really, really great, the challenge is that what we need to do as we're growing a business is to stay focused on just one thing. So what we're going to focus on is just one product or one service. Now, once you make 7 figures with that one product or service, right, you've been really, really successful with that, now you can start to add in some layers. So let me give you an example. When I'm working with people, I have a lot of different requests. I have people that ask me how to teach them how to use funnels. I have people that ask me how to run Facebook ads. I have people that literally will ask me, hey, I don't really want to do any of the marketing. Can you do that for me? Well, here's the thing. There's all of these things being thrown at you, and it's so tempting to say, well, you know what? Yeah, sure, I can do that. Yep, I can do this too. But what ends up happening is you get distracted. So when you don't have a focus, it's very, very difficult for you to be able to produce a consistent result. Instead of being laser focused on the one thing that you're amazing at, you start to get spread too thin and you're not successful at any of them. So this may be a little bit challenging, but literally what we need to do is we need to focus in on what's that one thing, what's the one product or service where you can look somebody dead in the eye and you can say to them, with unshakable confidence, if you will just buy this one thing from me, it will literally get you the results that you want, need, and deserve. And when you can do that and you become really well known for that one thing, not only do you come across as extremely confident, you become very believable to them, but you can also be able to, you're also going to be able to deliver that result to them instead of being spread too thin. All right, let's dig right into step number 5. Here's what I know. If you are over 40 years old and you are starting a coaching business, technology may be a challenge to you. Why? Because we didn't grow up with this stuff. I mean, I literally remember getting my first cell phone that was in a black bag, right? It looked like something that you'd get in the military, and before that, we had a beeper. So a lot of these platforms that are out there now with social media, there's Facebook, and there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, and there's YouTube. Which one do I choose? How do I get in front of my avatar? Where do these people hang out? Well, that's a step that we have to talk through. We really need to do some brainstorming together to figure out exactly where your ideal customer does hang out. Now, what I found in the coaching business is that the majority of people that I'm trying to reach that are over 40 years old, they've figured out Facebook, right? That's a social platform that most of us have pretty much figured out. But things like Instagram and LinkedIn and Snapchat, some of those other platforms, those are still very, very foreign, and we're not quite sure what to do with those. The second platform that I found to be really useful is YouTube. Why YouTube? Because people go to YouTube to learn how to do something. Matter of fact, you may be watching this on YouTube right now, and you went there to look how to start a coaching business online in your 40s, 50s, or 60s. So as we're working together and as you're going through this plan, we're going to stay focused on just one traffic source. And when you're able to do that, you master it. You become really, really good at it. And once you become really good at it, and let's say you're able to hit 6 figures using that one platform, now you can start to learn some of the other ones. But for now, in order to keep our laser beam focused, and in order to get off to a fast start and have super success, we wanted to master just one. Okay, so we got through the first 5. Now let's take a look at number 6. And number 6 is to pick one conversion tool. In step 1, we identified what we didn't want in our life anymore, so we could start to build a business based on something that gives us meaning, it gives us passion, it gives us excitement to wake up every day and to get after it. Step number 2, we identified our customer avatar, and that was a big deal, right? Because until we know exactly who we're talking to, it's impossible to create an ad message that's going to cut through all the noise on the internet. Then we went into step 3 and we identified their fears, frustrations, and desires, right? Because I can know exactly who I want to talk to, but I have to have a message that resonates with them. That's the hook. That's the thing that's going to get them to take the next specific action. Then we went into step 4 and we took a look at this and we said, okay, well, what is the one product, just the one thing that we know without a shadow of a doubt is going to be able to get them the results they want, need, and deserve? Then number 5, we said, okay, this is great. I know who my avatar is. I know the message that I want to create. I know what the product is that I'm going to use or the service that I'm going to use to get them the message. Now what I need to do is I need to be able to get in front of them, right? That's my one traffic source. And then step number 6 is once I'm in front of them and they hear my message and I've set the hook, now what I need is a conversion tool that takes them from my message and then continues that consistency to show them why my product or service is going to be able to deliver the results that they want, okay? Now, there are a lot of different types of conversion tools. You can use live webinars, you can use evergreen webinars, or you might also call that an auto webinar to put your message on autopilot. You can use live events. There are so many different kinds, but again, you're going to hear the same message from me over and over and over again. We're looking for consistency. We want to become the master of just one. If you want to be a master of speaking from stage and closing there, great, do that. If you want to build evergreen or auto webinar funnels and that's your ticket, well then do that. If you prefer to do something live, you could do it that way, okay? But the idea is pick just one conversion tool that you can run this really powerful ad that your customer avatar has ears to hear what you have to say. They're super excited about learning more. And now the one conversion tool that you've totally mastered will take them from where they are now to seeing how the product or service that you have to offer is going to be the right thing for them. Okay, so we talked about 6 steps that you can use to start your coaching business online in your 40s, 50s, or 60s. Now, the one thing that I know for sure is this is a very difficult process where you try to go it alone. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer you 2 ways in order to get started, to take the next step. Number 1, I'd like to give you the opportunity to book a friendly 15-minute chat with me. This is not a sales call. This is simply an opportunity for us to chat. Let me listen to the business that you're trying to create, what it is, what your space is, and I'll give you some great ideas to see if and how I can help. If I can, then I'll let you know that. I'll say, yes, I can definitely help you. Let's schedule another call. And if I can't, for whatever reason, I'll say, listen, this is not in my wheelhouse. There might be someone else that's better suited, and if I can, I'll point you in the right direction. Number 2, I want to give you a very easy way to get your feet wet and start to be involved in a community of other people, other business owners and entrepreneurs and startups just like you who are trying to get things going. And I have a really fun group. It's called the Over 40 Badass. It's a Facebook group, and inside that group, I educate, motivate, and inspire you to be able to take your business from 0 to 6 figures and beyond. So what I'd encourage you to do is click the link below and start your 14-day free trial. Get in there, check it out, participate, have fun with it. If you like it, you love it, you want more of it, then you can continue on from there.